Hi everyone, I'm Sujani, faculty in physics at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today we are going to see one experiment which is used to determine the wavelength of a given source of light. So to begin with, we'll see the brief outline of how we are going to go about seeing the experiment. First, we need to know the aim of the experiment, apparatus required, then the theory, circuit diagram, procedure, observation table, calculations we are going to see, at least one sample calculation, and model graph if required, then the result and some questions related to the theory. Now, the aim of the experiment is to determine the wavelength of a given source of laser light using plane diffraction grating. So, we are going to determine the wavelength of a given light, that is the laser source, using plane diffraction grating, that is using the phenomenon of diffraction. Now let us see the apparatus required. The plane diffraction grating, you can see the plane grating here. This is the grating, and then the holder. This is the holder on which we are placing the grating, and a laser source whose wavelength we are going to find. This is the laser source, and an optical bench. To place all these, we use an optical bench, or we place it on a table and use a meter scale. Then a screen. So this is the screen, and sometimes we may use a plain wall, a whitewashed wall, as a screen. And then we need a meter scale to measure the distances. Now let us understand what a diffraction grating is. A diffraction grating consists of a parallel side glass plates with equidistant fine parallel lines drawn very closely upon it by means of a diamond point. So we take a plain glass plate, and with the help of a diamond point, we draw lines parallel to each other and very close to each other. The number of lines drawn per inch is generally mentioned by the manufacturer, and the one which we are using in the lab, it has 15,000 lines per inch. We also have gratings which have 25,000 lines per inch. So these lines are the number of lines, we denote it as capital N. Capital N here is 15,000 per inch. In 1 inch, they are drawing 15,000 lines using the diamond point. Now, an ideal grating is made up of a set of slits of spacing d. So how do we get this spacing? So when we are talking about a grating, a plain glass plate on which lines are drawn, the lines that are drawn serve as opaque regions, and the region in between two opaque spaces will serve as a slit. So when we have drawn 15,000 lines, the regions in between these will act as slits, and the spacing of each slit is d. Now, this width of the slit must be wider. It should be slightly greater than the wavelength of the source that we are using, because to observe the phenomenon of diffraction, we need to take care that the spacing should be slightly wider than the wavelength of the light. Now, a plane wave of monochromatic light of wavelength lambda is incident normally on the grating. So, from the source, the light is incident on the grating normally. Normally means at right angles or perpendicular to the grating. Now, each slit in the grating acts as a point source from which light propagates in all directions. This is as per the Huygens principle. What is the Huygens principle? Whenever you have a source and different points on it will act as secondary sources and send out secondary wavelets. Now each point in the slit will act as a point source and send out waves in all directions. Now the light from the source, when it interacts with the grating, it undergoes diffraction. What is diffraction here? It is the bending of the light around the corners of the obstacle. The slit here is the obstacle now. So when light comes and falls on the slit, it undergoes diffraction, and the diffracted light is composed of the sum of interfering components emanating from each slit in the grating. We have n number of slits, so that after light falls on all these slits, the light that is coming out from all these slits will undergo diffraction, and after coming out they interfere. Now at any given point in space through which the diffracted light may pass, the path length of each slit in the grating varies. Path length here is the length or the distance the wave travels. We call it as path length. And when the path length varies, the phase also varies. So these waves that are coming from different slits will now differ in phase. When the path difference between the light from the adjacent slits is equal to half the wavelength, the difference in the path between two rays is lambda by 2, then they are out of phase. We say that they are out of phase, and they cancel each other and give us minimum intensity. So when the two waves are out of phase, they cancel each other and the resultant intensity is minimum. When the path difference is lambda or integral multiple of lambda, the phases add together and maximum occur. So whenever the path difference is an integral multiple of lambda, the phases will add and we get the maximum. And when it is lambda by 2, they are out of phase, they cancel each other and we get minimum. So what we have in the diffraction pattern is a series of maxima and minimum. Now, when light is normally incident on the grating, the diffracted light has maxima at angles given by d sine theta is equal to n lambda. So for all maxima, we use the formula d sine theta is equal to n lambda, where d here is the spacing or the width of the slit, we say. Theta is the angle through which it is diffracting. Theta is the angle through which it is diffracting. N here denotes the order of the diffraction, and lambda is the wavelength of the source whose wavelength we are going to find. So the maxima are according to the formula d sine theta is equal to n lambda. Now if you see the diagram, this is the source whose wavelength we are trying to find. We are keeping the grating here. Light from the source comes and falls normally on this grating, and of course this grating has n number of slits. They have n number of slits. Here we have taken 15,000 slits, 15,000 lines per inch we have taken. So the light when it falls here, which is not undergoing any bending, they go straight, and this is the screen that is placed, say, at a distance d. Let capital D be the distance between the grating and the screen. So now those which are not bending go straight and we get a maxima which we call as central maxima. And the other waves which are bending through an angle theta because of the diffraction phenomena, and the light coming out from each slit will interfere. And when they are in phase, we get maximum. So these are the maxima. Here we call this as first order maxima, then second order maxima. Also on to the right, if you consider this is on the left, if this is center, so this will be on the right. So on the right also we have different orders, first order, second order. So they are symmetric. Central maximum, n is equal to 1, first order on the left, n is equal to 1, first order on the right. Same way we have second order, we mention it as n is equal to 2 on the left and n is equal to 2 on the right. This is the type of pattern we are going to get due to diffraction. Now the formula we are going to use is lambda is equal to 2.54 sine theta upon small n into capital N. So we are using the formula n lambda is equal to d sine theta. Now here we have n number of lines in 2.54 centimeters. In 2.54 centimeters, we have n number of lines. So what will be the width of one line? So the width of one line will be 1 into 2.54 by n. So this gives us d. So in the formula, when we substitute for d, so we have lambda will be equal to 2.54 sine theta upon small n into capital N. So this is how we are getting the formula. Using our relation for the maximum, d sine theta is equal to n lambda. And we have n number of slits in per inch, and we are converting it into centimeters. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So the width of one slit we have calculated, and we are substituting lambda is equal to 2.54 sine theta upon small n into capital N. Lambda is the wavelength of the source that we are using. Capital N is the number of lines per inch, and n is the order. The formula is very important, which you need to remember. Let us now see the demo of the experiment. The aim of the experiment is to determine the wavelength of a given source of light, laser light, using grating. So the apparatus required is a laser source. This is the laser source with a pointer. Why we use a laser source here is, laser is monochromatic, it is highly intense and unidirectional. It has got a sharp focus. That is the reason why we use a laser source. And then we have a grating. This is the grating, and a stand, or we call it a holder, to hold the grating. And this wall serves as the screen to capture the diffraction pattern. Let me tell you about the grating before we start the experiment. Grating, it consists of a plain glass, and a number of lines are drawn on it with the help of a diamond point. The lines that are drawn are opaque, and the region between two opaque lines is transparent, and it serves as a slit. For a given grating, the number of lines are mentioned by the manufacturer on the grating. For this grating, the number of lines are 15,000 per inch. So you can note down the number of lines per inch. They are 15,000. So we denote it by capital N. Capital N here denotes the number of lines per inch. So we have taken a grating which has got 15,000 lines per inch. So place this grating on the stand in the holder. Now adjust such that the laser source and the grating are along the same line and at the same height. So the principle here, as discussed in the theory, is when light from a laser source falls on a grating, where it has got n number of slits. Here, since the number of lines are 15,000, we consider n as 15,000. So where it has got a number of slits, and the light, the laser light, undergoes diffraction phenomena. What is diffraction here? The bending of the light around the corners of the obstacle. So when light from the laser source falls on one grating element, one slit, it bends around the corners, and since there are a number of slits here, the light or the waves that are coming out from each slit will interfere with each other, and then we get the diffraction pattern. So in the diffraction pattern, what we get here is a central maxima. This is the central maxima, which is very bright. Then we have the first order secondary maxima. These two, these on the either side, we call them as secondary maxima. This is the central maxima, and these are secondary maxima. Here, this first one we call it as a first order maxima and second order maxima. Same way on the right side also we have maxima. So this is the diffraction pattern we are going to see. when light falls on the grating. Yes, let us quickly recapitulate what we have seen in the demo. We have placed the grating in front of the laser beam such that the laser light is incident normally. Then the diffraction pattern is produced on the other side of the grating, and this diffraction pattern is observed on a screen at a distance from the grating. We have put the screen on the other side of the grating. Now this diffraction pattern consists of central maxima. We have a central maxima and secondary maxima. And the secondary maxima are observed on either side of the central maxima we have seen. So if this is the central maxima, we have the secondary maxima on either side, first order, second order. Now we are going to measure the distance. Distance between the grating and the screen, we are considering it as capital D. Capital D here is the distance between the grating and the screen. Then the distance between the central maxima to the first order, on the left side we have taken as small d1. From the center, if this is the center, this is on the left, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2. So the distance from the center to the first order on the left, we call it as d1. So this is d1. Okay, and the same way from the center on to the right, if this is the point n is equal to 1, we say this is d2. So from the center to n1 on the left is d1, and on the right to n is equal to 1 is d2. So we have got capital D, we have got d1 and d2. Similarly, we will note down the readings for the second order also. For the second order, we take from the center to the n is equal to 2, this will be d1. The same way from the center to n is equal to 2, this will be d2. So we will note down the readings for the second order on both the sides of the central maxima. After arranging the laser and the grating along the same line, measure the distance between the screen and the slit. Let us say 25 centimeters. The distance from the slit to the screen is noted as capital D. So the distance now between the slit and the screen is 25 centimeters. Note down D as 25. Now, we have to measure the distance from the central maxima to the secondary maxima in the first order. As I told you, this is the first order, second order, this is first order, and again second order. Now let us measure the distance from the central maxima to the first order secondary maxima. Note down this distance as d1. Whatever distances we measure on the left, we consider them as d1, and the same way measure the distance from the central maxima to the first order secondary maxima on the right. Note it as d2. So now the distance is the average of the two readings. Small d is equal to d1 plus d2 by 2. Now with the same distance, also note down the distance for the secondary maxima with the second order. N is equal to 2. This is n is equal to 2. Note down the distance again from central maxima to the secondary maxima with the second order, that is n is equal to 2. This gives you d1 for the second order. Same way we measure the distance d2 on the right side for secondary maxima. So this gives the distance d2 for the second order. Note down d2. Again d1 plus d2 by 2 gives us d. We have capital D, the distance, light coming and incident normally on this, and after diffraction it is going at a certain angle. Now we are going to measure sine theta. Sine theta is given by d upon under root d square plus capital D square. Once you get sine theta, you can calculate the value of lambda using the formula 2.54 sine theta upon small n into capital N. Small n here is the order and capital N is the number of lines on the gradient. Now, we can repeat the same experiment for a different distance. Say, keep it at 20 centimeters. Adjust the distance capital D from the screen to the grating. Say, let it be 25. And again, note down the readings on both the sides. On the left hand side for first order D1 and second order D1. On the right side we have first order and second order D2. Now how do we tabulate the readings? So we have kept say a distance of 76 centimeter, that is the distance between the grating and the screen. We will first take the reading for the first order, n is equal to 1. So on the left D1 is 26 and on the right D2 is 27. Generally these readings will be the same or maybe a difference of say 1 or 0.5 centimeters. Otherwise they are equidistant. Now we can calculate D as D1 plus D2 by 2. So the average we are getting it as 26.5. So once we get D and we know capital D, we can calculate sine theta using the formula D under root D square plus capital D square, which gives us 0.32. Anyhow, we are going to see this calculation. Once we get sine theta, we can easily calculate the value of lambda using the formula 2.54 sine theta upon small n into capital N, and we get 5418. And the same thing we will repeat for the second order also. Measure the distances on both the sides, D1, D2. Take the average, find sine theta and get lambda. Now let us see the sample calculation. Capital D is 76. D1 is 26. For the first order, we are taking n is equal to 1 for the first order. D1 on the left, D2 on the right, 27. So how do we get small d? Small d is D1 plus D2 by 2. So this gives us 26 plus 27 by 2 will be 26.5. Yes, then we have sine theta is equal to 26.5 upon under root 26.5 whole square plus capital D here is 76 square. So this gives us the value of sine theta as 0.32. You can use a scientific calculator to do these calculations. You can use a scientific calculator where you have all the sine functions also. So this can be used in the lab. It is allowed to be used even during the examination. So you can use and practice while doing the experiment for doing the calculations. So you get sine theta as 0.32. Then calculate lambda. Lambda is equal to 2.54 and sine theta value we got it as 0.32 upon capital N. Capital N here is the number of lines on the grating. So 15,000 per inch, but we have calculated it per centimeter using the conversion. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter into the small n is 1 here, first order. So we get it as 5418 angstrom. And 1 angstrom is what? 10 power minus 10 meter. If we are getting it in centimeter, we will get it as 10 power minus 8 centimeter. So we can convert it, and usually lambda, the wavelength, is expressed in angstroms. So we are expressing it in angstrom, 5418. The same way we will do for the second order also. Once you calculate the values for the first order and second order, you will take the average of the two readings and write the result. The result will be the average of the two readings for the first order and the second order. You get it as 5641.8 angstrom units. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.